these videos, go ahead and hit that like button. And if you want to see more, subscribe, like and subscribe. If you don't like the videos, tell me why and maybe we can make them better. This is a Ruger 1022. Probably the most popular 22 rifle ever made because it's so darn versatile, it's so reliable, it's so, customizable. A few years back I bought one for everybody in the family. This one's mine. My wife has one, and I got one for each of my boys. We were out shooting the other day, and John Henry's had a hard time. His wasn't. He had some failure to feeds. And with most semi-autos, when you have a failure like that, it's usually from the magazine. So we took the magazine out. I said, here, let me set that one aside, and I gave him a different one, and after that he was fine. So we went back and looked at that magazine, and it was just hanging up. It wasn't feeding real well. And you know what I'm talking about? Those little Ruger, little 10-shot box magazine, little rotary clip. How about that? I can't believe I said that. Little 10-shot magazine. They're usually very reliable, but every now and then you'll get a little dirty, or you'll just kind of lose some spring tension after a while. So once a year, or once every couple years, I like to take them apart, clean them, wind that spring up, get a little more tension on it, and then we're good to go for another couple years. I got a little close-up here, and it's an easy job. It's literally less than 5 minutes. And like I said, when you got a whole row of magazines here to do, once a year is probably plenty. Come on, I'll show you how to do it. You can use your 9/64 Allen wrench that I have in my Bondage set, or if you have the Wheeler set, it comes with that Allen bit. There's a little hex screw in what would be the front of the magazine. Loosen that. If we come around the other side, you'll see that as we loosen it, it's coming to this little hex piece. If we push on that, we'll push it forward. You see the spring pressure already unwound it a bit. Pull this out. There's your spring. You'll see there's a little tiny hole. That spring goes in that little tiny hole. We're going to use that later when we assemble it. That's going to wind the spring up. This front plate comes off. The feed lips come out. Just lift off. Here's this little. There you go. There's your magazine. That screw that we loosened with that Allen wrench comes right out the back. Now you can clean this up. I don't like to use any kind of lubricant on it. What I'll do is I'll just take a patch and I'll clean it. I'll wipe out any kind of dirt. I don't want to get any kind of oil or anything in there, or any kind of liquid that's going to affect the mag or attract dirt. So I try to keep it dry. And it's not too bad. A little bit of dust, a little bit of dirt in there. I'll wipe that out. Wipe off the plates. This one's seen some use. I try to do this like once a year. It ends up, some of these mags, and you can see I've got several, but some of these mags will go years without any kind of maintenance on them. And this one's got a little bit of dirt on that wheel. So I'll just wipe each groove. There's slots for 10 rounds. So let's wipe those out. Like I said, it's fairly well sealed, this magazine, so it doesn't get too dirty. But 22s, just in their natures, are dirty little critters. So just kind of clean that up. And you can see I did not getting a whole lot of dirt on that patch. When we go to assemble this, we'll put that screw back in the back. I like to set the feed lips on. And you'll see there's a large knob on one end and a small knob on the other. The large end goes towards the back there, or would be the front. Take your rotary wheel and that large vein, and go right up against the feed lips. We'll put the plate back on. And then the trickiest part of this entire operation, the thing that probably going to frustrate you and give you the most, this is when all the cussing comes out. Remember that little hole in there? We're going to get that spring to go back in that little hole, because we're going to have to wind this spring up to give it some tension so it feeds the rounds through the magazine. And once it's in that hole, now you can start winding this up, get a little spring pressure on there, and shove that back in place. And as you put it in place, you're going to push the screw out the back side. Hold that all in place together. Take your Allen wrench, We'll tighten that thing back up. Tighten it down, and now, this is live ammo. I'm just testing that spring pressure, and it's a pretty good tension on there, so I know these will feed. I'll just kick them out with my thumbnail. And you see that came up, that follower followed all those rounds right out. I don't like having live rounds on the bench. I just did that because my dummy rounds are all banged up from being dry fired on. But there we go. That's a mag now. It's all cleaned up, ready to go back to the range, and add a little bit of spring tension to it, I think, and it'll feed well. Easy enough, huh?